Welcome to Lesson 8, the final lesson in the Bible, the Fallen Nation course. Thank you again for joining me. Throughout these lessons, we've learned about failure, exile, warnings, and rescues from God. This lesson is about rebuilding, how God restores what was broken and strengthens His people for the work ahead. Think about this. Picture a city with its buildings in ruins, a disaster by nature or by man. Your home is broken down, bricks and stones scattered. Now picture a small team of ordinary people, not soldiers, workers, rising early and working late, rebuilding that wall. The work is slow, but they don't abandon the project. It's hard work to rebuild such massive devastation, and it would be easy to give up. How do you rebuild yourself or your surroundings when it feels like everything is against you? In this lesson, we meet Nehemiah. Nehemiah was not a prophet or warrior. He was the king's cupbearer in Persia, a trusted advisor, a servant. But when he heard that Jerusalem's walls were still in ruins, years after the exile, his heart sank. The temple had been rebuilt, but the city remained a vulnerable shell of its former self. There was no protection, no pride, just rubble. Nehemiah was an unlikely leader with a broken heart, a bold prayer, and a fierce commitment to God's mission. Let's read from Nehemiah chapter 4, beginning with verse 7. But when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the people of Ashdod heard that the repairs to Jerusalem's walls had gone ahead and that the gaps were being closed, they were very angry. They all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and stir up trouble against it. But we prayed to our God and posted a guard day and night to meet this threat. Meanwhile, the people in Judah said, "The strength of the laborers is giving out, and there is so much rubble that we cannot rebuild the wall." Also, our enemies said, "Before they know it or see us, we will be right there among them and will kill them and put an end to the work." Then the Jews who lived near them came and told us 10 times over, "Wherever you turn, they will attack us." Therefore I stationed some of the people behind the lowest points of the wall at the exposed places, posting them by families with their swords, spears, and bows. After I looked things over, I stood up and said to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people, "Don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your families, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your homes." When our enemies heard that we were aware of their plot and that God has frustrated it, we all returned to the wall, each to our own work. From that day on, half of my men did the work, while the other half were equipped with spears, shields, bows, and armor. The officers posted themselves behind all the people of Judah who were building the wall. Those who carried materials did their work with one hand and held a weapon in the other. And each of the builders wore his sword at his side as he worked. But the man who sounded the trumpet stayed with me. Nehemiah had fasted and prayed for days, and when the opportunity came, he asked the king for permission to return and rebuild. Miraculously, the king said yes, and sent him with letters of authority and supplies. But the moment the rebuilding started, the opposition began. Men named Sanballat and Tobiah mocked them. They insulted the workers. They threatened attack. They spread fear. And yet, Nehemiah didn't flinch. He reminded the people of who they were, and even more, of who their God was. He said, "Don't be afraid. Remember the Lord. He is great. He is awesome. Fight for your families." So they did. Half worked, half stood guard. Some held a hammer in one hand and a sword in the other. They watched, they prayed, they built, and in just 52 days, the wall was finished. That's not just construction, it's divine intervention. And it's a powerful picture of what God does when His people rise up to restore what's been broken. Let's review 4 key takeaways from Nehemiah's story. 1. God uses ordinary people with extraordinary burdens. Nehemiah didn't start with power, he started with a prayer. He saw something broken and couldn't ignore it. If God's put a burden on your heart for someone, for something, don't dismiss it. He may be calling you to act. 2. Opposition always shows up when we follow God's call. Nehemiah didn't face resistance because he was doing something wrong, but because he was doing something right. Expect spiritual pushback when you start rebuilding your faith, your family, or your calling. The enemy doesn't bother those who are standing still. 3. Rebuilding is a community effort. Nehemiah didn't build alone. Families stood together. Everyone had a role. From goldsmiths to priests, they each built the section of the wall near their home. That's a powerful picture of the church working side by side to strengthen the body of Christ. And 4, Nehemiah points us to Jesus. Jesus saw the ruins of our sin and stepped into our broken world to rebuild what was lost. He faced mockery and violence. He went to the cross, not to restore a wall, but to restore our relationship with God. And through His resurrection, He gave us a new foundation, one that can never be shaken. So what does this mean for you today? Maybe you're in a rebuilding season. Maybe your marriage, your church, your confidence, or your faith feels like it's lying in ruins. Maybe you've been mocked, discouraged, or tempted to quit. Don't give up. Remember the Lord. He is great and awesome. He will give you strength. He will send help. He will rebuild what's been broken, one brick, one prayer, one act of courage at a time. This is the final lesson in the Fallen Nation course, but not the end of your story. In the live class, we'll reflect on how to rebuild your section of the wall and how to stand firm using the TELL method. I'm Pastor Nate. Keep building, keep praying, and never forget, our God restores what sin has torn down. May God bless your continued study.